Hey everybody, Will here, and this is not the engine rebuild video. In fact, this is the first video in a new series I like to call Half-Ass Projects. Now, if you're a fan of my work log video, you might sort of like these. These are videos of projects that normally I wouldn't film, and more than anything, I just want to get over with. But as part of my promise to bring you more regular uploads, I decided to film them anyway. I'm just not gonna put a lot of effort into it. So let's just jump right into it. Now just take a look at this corner of my apartment. It looks a lot different than it did in the apartment tour video, and there's a good reason for that. After I filmed that video, my lovely girlfriend Adira decided she was gonna use this entire corner of my home so that she could read books and write things. And that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, right? But the problem is, this is where I keep all my empty boxes and random junk. And where am I supposed to put my junk with her around? So, being the caring and thoughtful man that I am, I decided to build a small room around the desk, so that all my random garbage could be stored nicely above it. And I suppose the girl might appreciate it as well. Which makes this not only my first video in a new series, but my very first holiday special. So let's begin the Half-Ass Project Corner Office Valentine's Day Spectacular. This also counts as your birthday present.
You're a f***ing
The first step in the project was to decide the shape and size of the room. This was done by marking it out with 2x4s that would then be screwed into the floor and become our bottom plate. Next, ledgers went up on the large beam passing through the apartment, as well as the adjacent wall as we prepare the largest section of the ceiling. Then the ceiling joists are installed. Ordinarily, I would use 2x6s for the floor above, but considering the area would be reserved for light storage without foot traffic, 2x4s saved us some money, and made the project appropriately half-assed. Studs go up to make the new walls, and the room begins to take shape. And the same is repeated on the opposite side of the beam. The large beams running through the existing drywall on the back wall were rather poorly constructed and allowed excessive noise from the neighbors behind us, so an additional wall would be put up to keep things quiet. Walls and ceilings are filled with fiberglass insulation to aid in sound dampening, and 3/8" drywall is installed around the room. With all the drywall in place, mudding can begin. Strips of special drywall tape are run across all the seams in the wall, and a layer of joint compound, otherwise known as mud, is applied to strengthen and smooth them. And meanwhile, I begin to cut and install panels of 7/16" OSB sheathing for the roof. Alright, this is the new room. It's about 11 feet by 11 feet, which is pretty nice for a small office. And upstairs, more importantly, we've got an additional 120 square feet of storage space to work with. Right now we have the drywall tape and mud drying, and the next step, of course, is going to be to smooth it out and finally paint it. That, along with a couple extra final touches, including one of my custom-made EMT ladders, is going to be coming up next, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thanks for watching.